The capillary in the soil is the internal transport system of water. And the internal transport system is used by roots in order to go down into those microscopic canals. And it's used to transport water down below when you have a heavy rain. What people forget is that 50 millimeters of rain is 500,000 liters of water, and it just drains down in the soil within 10 minutes. So the capacity of the capillary system is incredible. But the same system is also used to transport water up, because water is hanging in those small canals. Many people think that trees drink from the water table. Trees don't drink from the water table. But many times the water table is 200 meters deep, or in mountains even 500 meters deep. Trees drink from the capillary hang water. That's what they live from and survive from. So that's why if you plant a tree in an area with 200 millimeters of rain, and the tree is using 300 millimeters of rain, it cannot survive because it has to live from the rain that's hanging in this capillary system. Now, if we plant our trees and we destroy that capillary system, and that's always destroyed because everybody is making a deep hole, then there's no way to recover that but through microbes. The problem is that if you have digged a hole and after that soil is very dry, those microbes and bacteria are not active. So your recovery of the capillary is very slow in dry countries, and many times not even working, so that once you've digged a hole and suppose you would not add drip irrigation, within a few weeks even the soil is so dry that it will blow away like dust. And that's actually what erosion is. Your capillary has been destroyed, soil becomes dust, and it blows away. So the idea of the drill is that we keep the capillary intact, and how people do it is what I'm doing now. They dig a deep hole. This is what you always see. There's not so much capillary here actually, but so they make a very deep hole like this. And then they have loose soil, and then they think this is very beautiful for the roots. This is what people normally do. So now I'm going to do what I propose that is a lot better, and that's actually copying our capillary drill. That is, be very precise on what you take off and keep your capillary intact. So this is actually what the drill is doing.
But better or not?
So here's still a structure. Now, if I put water here, in this soil, then after a few seconds, you will see that this water walks away very quickly. It drains very quickly. But if you come closer, you see that all the oxygen is gone. The water has collapsed. It has compacted. So if you plant a tree here, and that's actually what's happening, what people do, they plant the tree and put water, then all the oxygen is out. Mm-hmm. So your roots cannot grow anymore. And if you do like this, you see it's like cement. And if you do like that, you would just step into it. There's absolutely no structure anymore. Here nothing happened. You can just stand on it. So the whole system is intact. All the canals are intact. It will take a little bit longer before the soil is gone. We don't have time to wait for that, but if I do like this, you can see it's even dry inside. nothing happens, all the oxygen is there. So that's actually what the drill is doing. It just polishes away the top, but the whole system inside is keeping intact. So you plant a small tree in it, you put a little bit of water, and you can see that by adding the 4 liters of water on non-moved soil, you don't destroy the structure. While here, this will never grow anymore. When you take the oxygen out, roots can't grow. What I learned with my lilies, 24 hours without oxygen, 25% less growth after 90 days.
It's the bacteria and the fungi that will die, not
Yeah.
the root. The root won't die, it's the bacteria.
Yeah, and soil that's compact, it also gets very hot because there's nothing to isolate, while air in the soil is an isolation also. Because like double glass, the air in the double glass between the two glasses is isolating. So this soil will be much hotter than this soil. So that's the difference, and that is why we advise to everybody, and this is a very nice example that you can do to your own clients, that if you do it on this way, you keep your capillary intact. And here also the roots will not find any structure to put their little roots in, so they cannot even find water, although it seems wet. And here they will, within 24 hours, with our new plugs, the tree will be connected to the soil and immediately have water from the capillary system. So that's the difference between the two planting methods. If we make a new opening, and even here we work like this, so that if the roots are growing here, they can contact immediately to these sides. So I'm not working very like that, and then, because then already it's destroyed. So you really have to keep it intact, and only here make a little opening. There you put your planting. And that's actually what the drill does.
Okay. Yeah, duidelijk.
Yeah, keeps it all intact. You only the holes, you put a little bit of loose soil, and then you use that water to compact that little bit of loose soil. But all around the tree, your microbiological life is intact. Yeah, so we really try to work on soil with an intact capillary system. That's the secret. The reason that we are going deeper is that the winds are so strong in most of those dry areas that we found actually that the wind is coming below, between the box and soil, and because we only add 50 milliliter, it's evaporated within a few minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why we put them a little bit deeper.
So you take, the only reason to take away a little bit of the top is for that, that stabilizing factor, not
exactly.
because you need to remove the top layer.
Actually not, because nature just plants on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. What also once in a while happens, many places, especially dry areas, there you have the hard pan. Because over 1,000 years, water has evaporated, minerals stay behind, so they create a hard pan. It can even be only half a centimeter or a centimeter of pure calcium. So by taking off the top layer, you also break that hard pan. Like we heard yesterday, they call it the crust. And it can also be a meter deep, but then it's not a real big problem. Then the root is so strong, but if you have a hard pan on top of the soil, that's really difficult, because then this root is still so small, it's very difficult for him to break it. Once it's a meter deep, he will break that hard pan. Like granite, it's even broken. Yeah.
Capillary channels are not able to upload, to say it somehow, the groundwater?
No, groundwater can only come up theoretically only maximum 10 meters, because that's the weight of 10-meter water column is 1 bar. So, but if you look in practice, capillary comes up perhaps half a meter to a meter from the groundwater table. The rest of the water is from the rain.
And if there's no rain?
Many people think it, but the groundwater has nothing to do with the trees that are using them from their roots.
So in Chile definitely there is no water?
There's no groundwater. No, let's say they don't use that. There are absolutely areas where even with the water box you can plant, because if there's zero water, there's nothing to live from. Unless, that's a different, but that in nature happens very little. The first meter has nothing, and then you have groundwater. But that's a very rare situation. But you can have that, for instance, in that river where we are. There is groundwater, although on top it's extremely dry. But that's a river bedding.